And can I start by thanking Mary and her colleagues in the Danish presidency for continuing to place rule of law and democracy high on the agenda. And today we had important and constructive discussions on the rule of law situation across 4 member states and on Europe's democratic resilience. As our union is facing increasing political polarisation, pressure on our democratic institutions, challenges to our economies and growing external threats, protecting and promoting the rule of law matters now more than ever. As President von der Leyen said in her State of the Union address in September, the rule of law is a guarantor of democracy and of all the freedoms that we cherish across our union. And this is why it remains our daily work and duty to strengthen the rule of law in all the member states. As always, the country-specific discussions are conducted based on the principles of objectivity, non-discrimination and equal treatment. As you know, we have a rotation system in place so that we get to all member states for this discussion over time. We covered 4 countries, as Maria has said, Bulgaria, Czechia, Ireland and Germany, and I'm grateful for their openness and engagement in this dialogue. The Commission provided an overview and update on the recommendations provided to each of these countries in the 2025 Rule of Law report that was published back in July. This included welcoming reforms and steps in the right direction, as well as highlighting areas where more progress needs to be made. The Commission always stands ready to assist all Member States in their efforts to implement their recommendations and to engage in dialogue at technical and political level to prevent problems from emerging or deepening. I will say a quick word on each of the 4 Member States that we discussed today, starting with Bulgaria. On the justice system, I welcome the series of recent reforms efforts under the rule of law cycle and also the Recovery and Resilience Plan, while highlighting the issues that have reappeared following the Constitutional Court's ruling on the constitutional reform of 2023. I noted that steps have been taken with regard to the anti-corruption framework and the lobbying transparency, but also raised the lack of prosecutions and convictions in high-level corruption cases. On media freedom and pluralism, I raised ongoing concerns regarding the politicisation of the media regulator, but also improvements in the transparency of allocation of state advertising. We then turned to Czechia. On the justice system, I noted progress that has been made in relation to a recommendation on the remuneration of judges and judicial and prosecutorial staff. On anti-corruption, I highlighted progress that has been made to ensure the independence of investigation and prosecution in high-level corruption cases, but also that there are remaining issues regarding revolving doors. On media pluralism, I welcomed the implementation of a recommendation related to funding for public service media, while noting a lack of progress on transparency of information on media ownership. Turning to Ireland. On the justice system, I welcomed that reforms aimed at strengthening the independence and quality of the justice system continued, while noting that concerns remain regarding the length of judicial proceedings. On anti-corruption, I highlighted some progress that has been made to strengthen the ethics framework, while noting the delay in the publication of the draft multi-annual anti-corruption strategy. On media pluralism, I raised that some progress has been made towards the implementation of a recommendation related to the funding system for public service media in Ireland. And in relation to Germany. On the justice system, I welcomed the reform to strengthen the resilience of the Constitutional Court, while highlighting the challenges to recruitment in the judiciary. On anti-corruption, I raised that the planned revision of the strategic anti-corruption framework and gift policy for the federal administration remains pending. I welcomed that recent legislative reforms to increase transparency and enhance the prevention of corruption show effective results, including the lobbying register. And finally, on media pluralism, I noted that reforms to further strengthen the independent functioning of some public service broadcasters are progressing. I'm very pleased that the incoming Cypriot presidency will continue these country-specific discussions with 2 planned for the first half of next year. As Mary has said, another subject of the discussion today was the MFF proposal for 2028 to 2034, and my colleague Commissioner Serafin represented the Commission today for those discussions. This topic has been on the agenda of the GAC on a regular basis since we presented our draft on the 16th of July this year. And today I know the focus was on heading 1, economic, social and territorial cohesion, agriculture, rural and maritime prosperity and security. In the new MFF, these policies, it is proposed, will be integrated into the national and regional partnership plans. The discussion was structured around the questions put forward by the Danish Presidency, in particular regarding the importance of the cohesion policy and the CAP and the role of the regions. As you know, this matter has also attracted the attention of the European Parliament. Indeed, just a week ago, at the Article 324 meeting between the three presidents, the President of the Commission, von der Leyen, presented a proposal that confirms the role of regional and local authorities and provides greater predictability for regions and indeed for rural areas. I understand that the discussion today was constructive on the features of the national and regional partnership plans. Several issues still require more discussion, but there is goodwill around the table to reach a good compromise. We believe it is important that the European Council reaches an agreement on the next MFF by the end of 2026. A timely agreement will be essential to ensure a smooth start of the next MFF. Finally, I also presented ministers today with the details of the democracy package that, as you know, was adopted by the College last week, comprising the European Democracy Shield and the EU strategy for civil society. At a time of global instability and rapid technological change, our democracies face growing pressures. Across Europe and beyond, authoritarian regimes are using hybrid tactics such as information, manipulation and electoral interference to destabilise our societies. The Democracy Shield protects the real targets of foreign interference, our media, our elections, our communities and our citizens. It rests on three pillars: safeguarding our information space, strengthening democratic institutions and boosting societal resilience. And I took the opportunity today to outline to colleagues the key actions that we propose under those three priority areas. The European Democracy Shield is also complemented, as you know, by the EU strategy for civil society, which recognises the essential role played by civil society organisations to keep our democracies alive from the ground up. It's built on three simple principles: engage, protect and support. So, to conclude, by safeguarding the rule of law and protecting our democracies, we act together to strengthen our union, a union where freedom and opportunity can continue to be lived fully. So thank you for the opportunity to set out those introductory remarks.
Thank you, Commissioner.